spit it out, and I'll throw it back at you. Regurgitating rappers and actors repping the whack crew. Grim fucking rapper BG bringing that bad news. My interests include getting money, fucking, and tattoos. That's just an intro, this song's about crazy. Paranoia gripping my mind and where it takes me. All them thoughts in my head and how it makes me feel about a motherfucker when he acting flaky. Ex-friends could roll in the grave like the bottom of a blender. I'm a sharp spinning blade. Stick your hand in, get the slicing every way.
Good morning, friends and listeners from across the globe. This is Breaking Bread with Ben Grimm, and we are recording live from Elmwood, Connecticut. It is probably raining right now on a gloomy Tuesday morning, but that's all right, because we're going to turn that frown upside down. But before I let you know about all that, you already know. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the Dimmy Kelly's Barbershop and Emporium, located at 6 Kirby Road in Cromwell, Connecticut, exit 21 off of I-91. Jimmy Kelly specializes in all types of men's haircuts and hot shaves. Appointments and walk-ins available. For full schedule, check the website at DimmyKelly'sBarbershop.com or call 860-502-3540. Gift cards are available in any denomination, and they also offer my own personal favorite, their own water-soluble pomade. So go get a fresh cut, a clean shave, and an awesome product, and tell them Ben sent you. Jimmy Kelly's Barbershop and Emporium, responsible barbering. Also, located within the barbershop is Cafe Vernaza. Cafe Vernaza is offers all organic brewed shearwater roasters coffee and espresso. Cafe Vernaza offers gelato, fraps, and rotating homemade specialty drinks and authentic thick Italian pastries. Make sure you go get a thick Italian pastry. Shit is really good. Always something different. Always a special drink on the menu. Go in there, say hi, make a friend. All right, what do we got for local happenings before the end of this week? Let's see. I think we only have one. Sunday, August 19th, 8 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., opening reception of Emmy Smith at Tisane Euro-Asian Cafe in Hartford, Connecticut, the west end of Hartford. Hi friends, I'm very excited to announce that I will be showing a large collection of my recent artwork at Tisane from mid-August into September. All are welcome at the opening reception on the 19th, but please RSVP on this page so I can accommodate everyone. Hope to see you there. Blah, blah. Yeah, I'm going. I'm going to check that out. She donated a piece for my art show back in February, so you gotta fucking support the people that support you. That's that. Other than that, I'd like to let everybody and remind everybody know about the Hartford Art District Kickoff Block Party, which is going to be August 25th, Saturday. It is going to encompass the whole Parkville area, mostly 56 Arbor Street. We are going to have live painting on the walls behind there. We are going to have food trucks. We are going to have music. We are going to have live music. We are going to have drinks. We are going to have food. And most importantly, we are going to have fun. Big shout out to the beautiful ladies over at Tainted for including me in that. Gabby, motherfucking Andrea, and the rest of the ladies. Big ups. Past that, I'm going to Perón and Pina tonight. If anybody hasn't been, you need to go. Spanish tapas done by our good friend, Tyler Anderson. Never will let you down. He will always turn around that frown and make a smile when you put that fucking shrimp in your mouth. All right, ladies and gentlemen, fuck this shit. Today we have a rather mysterious podcast today. Today is my friend, Colonial Chris. Can't give his real name, but if you know him from the Connecticut hardcore scene, you will know Colonial. Colonial Chris is a marketing manager for a greenhouse manufacturer that does mostly greenhouse builds for medical marijuana grows. And that's what we talk about. We talk about the medical marijuana industry in Connecticut, medical marijuana versus recreational, the other states that offer recreational and medical, and the future of marijuana and medical marijuana. We get into a bunch of stuff. It's fun. We talk about a couple old things of me and Chris were in a fucking band before, back in the day, like 10 years ago. We talk a little bit about that. We talk about hardcore, and we just have a good old time. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my man, Colonial Chris.
I break bread, 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 break bread,
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an old friend of mine, an old bandmate here, my friend, Colonial Chris. Hey, Chris.
What's going on, Ben?
How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. It's been a while.
We're bringing Chris here today because he is a marketing manager for a greenhouse manufacturer that does dabble in making greenhouses for medical marijuana grows. Is that correct?
I would say it's more than dabble, but yes, that is correct.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about medicinal marijuana. We're going to talk about medicinal marijuana in Connecticut. And, you know, Chris is going to fill in some fucking gaps for us and let us know what he does. I just think this is a super interesting topic, number one, but it's definitely something like with elections and like the laws, everybody is talking about it.
It's true. It's I would say 2 years ago it seemed like it was set up to be the issue of our time, but it's taken the backseat a little bit, but yeah, it's just as important as it ever was.
It really is, dude. And it's just like people's opinions are on the line. Like, I just went to this thing last night and it was like a community conversation. These girls I know put the thing on and they had like 4 reporters from the Hartford Courant there. And they were talking about, like, you know, politics shit, a couple racial issues, and then they got onto the topic of like medical marijuana, and like they stayed there for a fucking half hour, and the thing was only an hour and a half long.
No kidding.
And every person was asking them like at their views as the Hartford Courant and like as like media people like about what's going on with medical marijuana. It was very, you know, I knew it all, but like it's funny to see like people, you know, your regular person like ask questions like that or like understand it.
Yeah, and I always kind of wonder how much people actually understand it.
Yeah,
it seems
true
to still be a little superficial in terms of how deep people are willing to get into it. It always sounds good to at least the lefties to legalize it and set it all up, but then when it comes down to the economics, is it actually going to work out, you know?
That's real. Like, you bring that up, and now I do think about it, and it's like, okay, you guys want to grow this pot because you want pot to be legal and be out there, but if you're looking at it and you're not doing it right, you're not going to generate any capital, and that's going to turn the other side away from it and be like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, politically, a lot of people will argue that it's going to be a job-creating opportunity, and if it's not gone about correctly,
it won't.
It's going to fall flat on its face before it even starts, you know?
True.
So,
so as a person that like markets like the actual facilities to grow marijuana, like who are like where did it, obviously it all started in like Northern California. And like what were people doing back then to be like successful? But I think a lot of it has to do with it was illegal, and you're making illegal money, but like how does somebody do it now and make bank and like live that American dream without like falling on their face?
So it's difficult. It's definitely difficult now. Northern California in particular is having a really tough time getting it off the ground because of the black market. You still have growers who can't pay the taxes, can't pay the licensing fees, and they stay in the black market. They don't even enter the system. So that is probably California's biggest issue right now, is the fact that they don't have buy-in from the real growers. They have new school people coming in, getting their licenses, but then the real guys that know how to grow are staying in the black market, not paying the taxes.
Because it's not lucrative for them.
And the penalties are so light. It's crazy how light the penalties are. You know, they always, I don't know if this is true or not, they say in Connecticut that you get 7 years a plant Have you heard that before? I don't know if that's true.
I think I heard that, but I definitely think that was like
sounds like nonsense,
like a schoolyard tale.
Yeah, but like,
so if you got like 300 plants, like you and all your family are going away for life. Yeah,
it doesn't seem right. But that's the complete opposite case in California. Like the
slap on the wrist.
Yeah, it's so light. It's
I got a buddy that he was just out here, and he works in the industry out there, and it's kind of like gray for him because I think he works in a little bit of like on the books and a little bit of like off the books like stuff. But he's a dude that's transitioning through to become legit.
Right.
And he's always like, he attends like lobbyist stuff, and he knows about all the laws, and he knows about all the dispensaries and the grows, and he's working with someone that it has like a legal grower. It's like a consultant or something like that.
Yep.
But they just had a problem. One of their fucking places got hit by the wildfire.
Oh yeah, a lot of that this week especially. It seems like quite a few have gone down. In terms of what he does on the books and off the books, you know what that looks like? Does he have like a secret outdoor grow in his backyard?
Well, the thing is, like, I think he went out there years ago, and they got involved with people that knew what they were doing, and they started a delivery service. And like, even out there, that's another thing that's like, all right, like at the time you probably get a ticket or something like that.
Right.
And it's probably even less now. And he just like grew that model and did really, really well for himself.
Okay.
Employed a bunch of my friends that moved out there, and that's where it started for him. So he started like talking to people that worked with the laws, talking to like real growers, talking to dudes that knew their shit, and he's kind of like made his way through the channels to where he is now.
Right.
And he's fucking done really, really well for himself. And now it's to the point where he's like in it. He's smoked weed his whole life. He loves it. He loves marijuana, and that's what he wants to do with his life. So he's trying to make that shit like 100%, like boom, like his thing.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard in California to get everything on the books. Running any type of business in California is insane. You see people leaving California.
It's so
every
strange
day.
because people talk about how they that's the destination, like to live, maybe not to own a business.
Yeah, I don't know enough to comment, really. I'm not an economics expert at all, but it seems like a lot of people have issues setting up shop in California.
What are your views? Like, now we all know what's going on in Colorado. So as a person that would sell somebody like a greenhouse, do you guys only do it around here, or do you do like nationwide?
Everywhere. You want to set up a grow in the Netherlands, we'll do it for you.
Really?
Anywhere. Probably won't be the most cost-effective option to ship it across the globe, but we'll do it.
Yeah.
If you'll pay it, we'll do it.
So did you see an influx of people get equipment from that area when everything became legal?
Colorado?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is upper management stuff, and they're on top of their game. I don't know what they say behind closed doors.
But you'd put money on it. What I think is that it kind of caught them off guard when these orders started coming. It was like, oh shit, this is a real opportunity. Yeah.
And run with it, capitalize on it.
They're probably like, oh shit.
Yeah,
this is happening. This is what we've been waiting for.
And especially in Colorado, you do see a lot of nice like mom and pop type grows.
Yeah.
Nothing too big, nothing too small, professional, a nice tight production scale, and that's really my company's bread and butter for sure.
That like blue collar person.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Independent. A lot of them are just like former farmers too.
Yeah. My father worked on a golf course for his whole life, but he's got a botany and a horticulture degree. And 10 years ago, I was telling him, you need to do this. You know what I mean? And he was just like, I'll get in trouble.
Yeah.
I was just like, you need to find a way to do it, because if he did, like, his life would be totally different.
Yeah, the industry needs people like that too. The industry needs real farmers.
The dude could grow anything.
Agricultural people in it,
and it's a lot of like fucking YouTube watchers and like people like learn, oh, this is how you fertilize and this is what we do. And like they're not working with people that have been like growing actual plants their whole life.
We call them flat brims.
I love the term.
Yeah.
Fucking flat brims.
Yeah, you're in for a world of trouble when you walk in and
you got a bunch of
business owner,
flat
his
brims.
Head grower has a flat brim hat on.
You want to see a motherfucker in like a lab coat.
I want to see. I wouldn't say that. I want to see like.
You want to see a dude
I want to
like
see a haggard guy that's been working in the
Look
fields on his farm for 25 years.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see.
Okay.
You want to see like a tomato farmer that knows what it is to
Mud on his boots.
Yeah, and you just think about it, to turn a profit on a tomato, you have to have it figured out down to the penny. You know, you can't cut any corners with that, and that's what it takes in this business, without a doubt.
Dude, thinking about that right now, the way you just put it is insane. Like, how do you make money off of something so like
and
cheap?
Yeah, the profit margins aren't there yet, but they will get there without a doubt. It's going to get there. There are so many growers producing so much pot. You need to cut every last cent out of your production, but we see it time and time again that cannabis growers don't understand commercial growing.
Why? And so what would, in a perfect world, what, like, send those people to school, or like educate them, make them hang out with like real farmers and do like a fucking internship for like a year?
I think it's not necessarily a perfect world. What needs to happen is that people that have the money to invest in these businesses need to understand that the person that has been growing pot for the last 10 years isn't necessarily the best option. Pot is pretty easy to grow. That's the bottom line. If you know what you're doing, everything's easy to grow, apparently. I suck at growing myself, but
I kill everything I grow.
Oh, dude, I have
I'm not good. Like, my garden outside, like, I'm into it for like a month, and then
I've been trying to grow sunflowers since May. I'm down to one. It's got no leaves on it. It looks like shit, man. I walk out there the other day. My dog's got it bent in his mouth. It's at like a 90-degree angle. Nursed it back to health, but it's gone too. I'm gonna rock it as long as I can, but that's gone.
Yeah, like, it's hard. I mean, like, I know a couple people that own farms. I actually know a lot of people that own farms, and they do their own stuff, and those are the people, like, they have their heart in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like it should be taken the same like way. Like, all these farmers that are like super involved in like, Young Farmers Association and getting it out there, and like more food for like, people, and being organic, and like giving the best product, and like supplying food and feeding people. And I think maybe if like marijuana growers kind of fell into the same mindset, like, they might take a little bit more care and learn a little bit more. Yeah,
absolutely. It's inevitable to get in that mindset or get the hell out. That's what's going to happen. They're not going to be able to make money, and their investors are going to be pissed. Yeah,
that's another thing. There's always someone in the background that's giving the money.
Yeah. And they're all tight, And nobody's looking to just throw their money in on this and not get anything back, so.
And I can imagine that that's probably happened a lot in places. Like, oh, fucking Joe fucking from down the street's been fucking doing this for years. Let's throw a bunch of money at him and try to be legal, and then the dude fucking tanks.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you hire somebody that's been growing in their mother's basement, they're going to take those same techniques
methods,
and try to multiply it times 100, times 1,000, whatever it is. And it doesn't work that way, Indoor grows right now are a huge drain on the energy grid, and everybody's smartening up to it. And then you take that, all the money it costs to run an indoor grow for a month, for however long, and then you combine that with the competition in the local markets.
Yep.
You can't succeed doing that,
So this is my understanding. The actual life of a plant to be harvested is like March to October, right?
Outside, yeah, sure.
That's outside, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So inside would be...
I have to just say, I'm not the best person to be asking this.
But so these guys that are running their lights for long times, like, how long, like, I know they have to be on for 24 hours a day, but like, how many months do they do it inside?
So it actually, to trigger flowering, it's going to be 12 hours on, 12 hours off.
And then you keep them on after it's flowered? Or do you stay with the 12 on, 12 off?
12 and 12, and then it flowers and you're ready to harvest.
Okay.
But that can be, it really depends on the grower too, what you've been feeding the plant, all that
it could
stuff.
Go faster.
I really shouldn't comment on that. I'll give bad information.
It is months though.
It can be, yeah, for sure. It could be I think I've heard people doing 10 weeks or so, but
Really?
the biology side of it escapes me. You know that.
I remember
that's
as
not what I'm
as
really
a
into
youth,
with.
like that's how long it was. Like
Yep.
you do it in the spring and they're good in like the fall.
Yeah. And if you're an outdoor grower right now, this is a good time to be selling your pot because there's none in the market, and it's all come October. It's going to be flooded.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be harvesting then.
Hold on. I'm Googling it right now.
Nice.
So instead of giving you a huge range, an easier to swallow answer might be to say that on average it takes 3 to 5 months for indoor growers. This includes time needed to grow your cannabis plant from seeding to harvest, plus an additional 2 weeks minimum, which is needed to cure your cannabis buds after the harvest. So, all right, let's say 3 to 5 months.
Yep.
Half the day, those lights are on.
That's when you're triggering flowering, so it's going to be a little less than that, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you want to get a nice healthy plant. A lot of growers will when you see the fans, it's fucking beautiful to look at. You see the fans are going and the
Everything's
plants
swaying.
are swaying around and they're just getting stronger and stronger to support a huge bud
at the top.
Yeah.
So for all that time, now we were talking before, what is the average electrical cost per month to some of these places?
So an indoor grow, it's $10,000 plus, and a lot of times way over that. That's going to depend on the size of it, but it's an insane amount of money. It's so much. That's electricity, so much power.
That's like a rent for like a storefront in like Soho, like Ralph Lauren.
Yeah.
Like they pay like $10,000
Yep.
a month to be in that spot. Like that's an insane amount of money.
Yeah, so like it sucks with the cannabis industry because there's not a lot of good research in it for a number of reasons, mostly because it's been illegal for so long. And then it's all splintered by the states. But one of the biggest, the most well-known study on it was done by Evan Mills, and it's called Energy Up in Smoke. It's dated now. The numbers are probably actually a little, I would imagine they're worse. It's hard to say. I would definitely suggest people go read about that. It's fascinating.
And that's like a journal someone wrote off of like the energy grid suck.
Yeah, yep. He so this happened. This study was done right before the rec markets really hit. Medical marijuana was established probably isn't the right word, but in Colorado and California, it was around. And that back then it was cannabis production was 1% of the entire country's energy consumption, and that was equal to, based on his study, was equal to 3 million homes, and used up the energy from 7 American power plants on average. It's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's bigger now. When
was that written?
I want to say it was like 11 or 12.
2011, 2012.
Might be off on that, but it still. It's like I said, the research is light. It really still is one of the most definitive and complete studies done on it. So complete probably isn't the right word for 2018, but it's a benchmark.
So what do you guys do? Like what is like the mission of your agency you work for?
So I have a small team and we're constantly out there looking for growers. My company's incredible. We have some of the best growers in the country working for us. They can get you going from scratch to they'll see you through the entire process. But we're a greenhouse manufacturer, obviously, but greenhouse is the way to go now because you cut out all the lighting costs. We've seen a reduction of energy by up to 2/3 compared to an indoor grow. So it's going to be the standard in a few years. You know, it'll happen in staggered amounts. I think, I think that you'll see it obviously in Washington, Oregon, California. It'll happen. It'll fall in the way these markets got established. But between the power consumption and the competition, you gotta pinch those pennies.
Well, so in Connecticut, for like if somebody wanted to grow their marijuana in a greenhouse in Connecticut, they'd have to take advantage of a certain time of year. Like that's not an all the year thing.
Yeah, you're never going to get away from the lighting.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing strictly outdoor. You know, there's always going to be lighting involved.
So do people put lamps inside an outdoor greenhouse?
They all do. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they all do.
So they use the sun and that light together.
Yeah, because like you think about it, to flower you need 12 and 12.
And you might be getting like 7 depending on what time the year is.
Right.
That's so fucking strange yet fascinating.
Yeah, and so obviously the issue with growing in a greenhouse compared to indoors becomes controlling the light when you have too much light during the day.
Yeah.
And for that, the engineered light depth systems are definitely the hottest ticket item on the market right now. Probably for just anybody looking to cultivate. You know, it's the buzzword.
Explain that to us.
So you got your greenhouse. You picture it. It's glass, polycarb, whatever it is. It's all clear. Mm-hmm. You need to block the light out, and it's just an automated system that's going to close a shade all the way over.
Oh, it's a shade.
Yeah. It's just it's a fancy term for a shade system.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But growers are going to plug that into a central control system and then automate it, not even set it and forget it pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, and then eliminate labor costs on top of that. You know,
if you didn't have that, what would somebody do?
So in California, plenty of people don't go the automated light depth route, and they are throwing tarps, pulling tarps off. I was gonna say it's expensive too. I mean, you need a lot of people. If you have a huge production, you need a lot of people to throw those tarps.
That's a lot of fucking tarps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We're talking like football field size
for
shit.
Sure. If you look at like some growers, mostly in the Pacific Northwest, but you'll see hoops over a lot of their plants. Yeah. It almost looks like a high tunnel without a cover.
Yep.
And that's just to support the tarp they're going to throw over that once the light comes out. You know? So.
Wow, that's so fucking strange. That's awesome. So, let's talk about like in Connecticut. Like, what does the scene look like today?
From a growing standpoint?
Yeah, and your business.
I mean, non-existent, really.
Really?
There's 4 licenses they're taking up. I imagine the people that have those licenses are making a good business.
Yeah, I don't see
It's hard to say.
Yeah,
but,
I don't really know much about those 4.
Yeah. Connecticut's a wild card still. You know, Malloy doesn't seem like he wants to get involved in it, which... keep his hands out of it. That's okay, I think.
Yeah, you know,
that's not
maybe
the worst thing.
Maybe he shouldn't. Yeah,
wait for the next person to get in office and see what happens. You know,
what is for a state of the state of Connecticut? You know, we've been medicinal for 3-4 years.
A little bit.
Like
I was going to say 5, but
5 years.
probably isn't that long.
Seems like it.
Yeah,
but so they went from that to these 4 people to these 4, I think there's 8 dispensaries or 9 dispensaries in the state, all in 5 years. But like, who was like a state that was doing medicinal? Who was the first? Do you know?
To do medicinal?
Yeah.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'll tell you who went from medicinal to rec beautifully was Las Vegas or Nevada. No,
really?
It's more than Las Vegas.
So
but,
Las Vegas is like the whole state.
Yeah, no, there's more to it than that. But they made it so easy for their medicinal dispensaries to just get the license and sell to everybody. I was in Las Vegas in it was weeks after they rolled out the rec market, and it was perfect. You know, there was no issues, no supply issues. All these people were already set up to grow. They had been growing for years.
So all they did was change gears.
The dispensaries were set up, got their licensing. They already have, when you go into a dispensary in Nevada, there's going to be, for most of them, this based off of personal experience, I don't know whether this is hard facts or not, but there's going to be 2 lines. You're going to go either to the medicinal side.
They split it still.
Yeah. And they're still looking to give you some consultation, I think, you know, for the medicinal stuff. And then for the rec side, you just get into a line. It's like a candy store.
Yeah, and you figure, because like on the other side, there has to be a pharmacist. They have to write an order. You know what I mean? Like, it's like going to get your shit at CVS.
Right.
And the funny thing is, like, why would someone want to still go that route if they could just go to the other side of the room and buy it? Like, those are probably people with really pressing real medical issues.
I would imagine that there's something pretty specific they're looking for, and they have real issues that need to be addressed.
Or also, like you just said, they might have something that the recreational side doesn't. Something they've been using for years. They know it works, and it just didn't come out in the fucking legal store, and they're going to stay where they are.
Right. And, you know, God bless the people that work at those dispensaries, but the people on the rec side also, like, they'll talk your ear off about
what they
all
think
of
is
it,
good.
and it's walk away and it's like, do they actually know what they're talking about? I don't. Who actually knows?
He smokes it. Like, he doesn't know the ins and outs.
He knows it
of
because he tried it 10 minutes ago and is making a personal recommendation, not based on any real facts.
How much do you know about the actual breakdowns of the plants, like THCA, CBG? Do you know anything about that?
No, the biology really escapes me. It's just I've learned about it through work. I don't actually grow it, so it definitely not. I don't know too much about it.
I would love to get someone that did.
Yeah,
and like I would like to get like a grower.
Yep.
You and like a dude that's like got a little bit more to do with the legality of it.
Right.
And have a fucking round table.
Yeah, and
that would be so sick.
2-3 years from now, it'll be so easy to put that together too. Whenever it goes legal, that'll be so easy to put together.
Oh, totally. I could do it right now. Like I had, I know one of the girls that is like the, she's like the manager of all the people that work at Prime Wellness in South Windsor.
Okay. That's right down the street from where I work, actually, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But like, yeah, like you didn't know about that years ago. Like, THC, THCA, CBG, CBGA, CBD. Like, I know what CBD is and I know what THC is, but like I don't know why those other little breakdowns are in there. But I know that people will go. It's like a dude looking for like an ABV in his beer.
Yeah,
he wants to know like the alcohol content.
Right.
And there's people now that know exactly like too much THC makes me fucking weird.
Right.
Too much THCA makes me fall asleep. Just enough of this is right where I want to be.
Yeah, it's like dialing in.
It's like a wine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like dialing in your blood pressure medication.
Yeah.
It's.
But it's like at a retailers and a buyer standpoint, like I could see it like as like cigars. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
there's this kind, and they're in their own little sections, and that's how it's going to be.
It can be more intense than that too, because then you think about like, what are you smoking it out of?
Yeah,
that probably won't have a huge effect on it, but I guarantee you people are going to claim it does.
Yeah. How are you doing it? Like, are you just smoking the flower? Are you smoking oil? Are you smoking like material, like shatter?
And I mean, obviously it's different from eating an edible and smoking a flower.
Yeah.
Breaks down in your body differently. Anybody that's experienced both of them can tell you it's different.
Yeah. So you have this one strain of plant that you can break it down into all these other ways, and then there's like literally thousands of different strains of plants.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it as like a big ass fucking Crazy Bruce like liquor store. Like you're gonna have so many different varieties and to do different things that you wanted to do. And then the other factor is like the patient, what's their ailment and how is it going to work with that?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a dude going in there for some shit like a spinal injury or something like that, that's totally different than the person that has like PTSD and needs to sleep at night.
Right.
Like they're looking for two different things.
Yeah.
And they're dialing in on that. Like the people that are growing are taking complete advantage of knowing what people want, raising the shit in other plants, and that's what fascinates me.
That's one area where it doesn't seem like there's a real lack of research. From
there's
the economic
amount.
standpoint, we have no idea what's going on.
Exactly.
But from the actual biology,
people know.
Yeah, and they've known about it forever and are only gonna learn more from it now that there's seed companies getting down to like genetics and really
it's not taboo anymore. It's it's look at it like fucking GMOs and shit. Like it's gonna be the same way. Like at one point people are gonna be like, do you want this hot like
highly processed big fucking pharma pot, or do you want like this like fucking cool artisanal farmers market dude pot? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are gonna have that choice too. It's like I hope it doesn't get to the point where like Philip Morris gets involved and like it's rolled and sold in like cigarette packs. Like that's weird.
That's gonna happen.
At one point it will, but
Yeah.
it's just like everybody else. You there's cigarettes now, and you still see motherfuckers rolling their own cigarettes.
Right.
So
right.
there would be the weirdos that didn't want to latch on to that like capital part of it, and they do their own thing. Yeah, dude, it's an exciting time, especially like for me, like working in the mental health field. Like people that I work with, like old school or new school, they have like their views on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the older crowd is like, it's definitely a drug. Like nobody in recovery should be smoking marijuana. And then there's like newer free thinking, you know, progressive therapists and APRNs and psychiatrists that are like, it has a benefit, you know,
right.
and they're still clashing because it's that new.
Yeah, and you know, I think if you're not a pot smoker and you've done it
don't
just
get it.
once, maybe you had a bad experience, and that's your impression of it. That's
Totally.
it, you know, freaking out in the corner of somebody's house.
And this like watching a dumbass movie with like some college student taking a bong rip and fucking acting crazy. Like,
You know, we're seeing what you just said too play out in Oklahoma. It seemed like there was a lot of momentum to get marijuana up and off the ground there, and just in the last few weeks it seems to have fallen flat because first of all, the old school farmers were really buying into it. We're going to make the switch over and start growing. And then the politicians got in the way. And this was like 2 weeks ago, they said they're not going to sell smokable product. So it's got to be processed.
oil only?
Oil, edibles, the exact
No
details.
flour.
Not smoking it.
Weird.
Yeah, but
Don't they know that you could get it to be stronger?
right. It makes no difference. That's just it's old school thinking. You know, that's all that is somebody that has
No research.
some impression of what it is and no actual experience with it. You know?
Okay, we'll only sell wax and shatter. You guys can't smoke joints. Everybody's going to be fucking.
It's
hammered.
crazy, and you can't hold it against the farmers. You know, they've lived there their whole lives. They don't want to be ostracized for growing a plant.
True.
Don't want to lose their business.
Yeah, they don't
These
wanna,
are
like-
generational businesses. They want their kids to take it over.
Yeah.
They're not gonna
They're looking
lay
at
it
it
all
as-
on the line for that. So you can't hold it against them. But,
Yeah, they're just doing what's in best interest for their property, their farm, their equipment. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
And I can understand that. It's like anything. You're not going to throw in your fucking hard-earned money to something that you think isn't a 100%.
right, absolutely. Why would you?
You know, you might have some maniac here or there being like, fuck it, and like go all in.
Yep.
It could go well for him. It could not.
Yeah. It's everything is uncertain with that.
It's such a weird and uncertain topic right now.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's like one of those things that just boom, it hit. You got a few people that know what they're doing, and then you got a lot of people that don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, and I mean, you take a look at the states that legalized it in 2016.
And who are the legal states right now? There is what is it?
So you got
Colorado,
Yep,
Washington,
Oregon, California,
It's these are legal, right?
rec.
These are rec.
Yeah,
California's rec now?
yeah, yep. That was 2016 too. That fell in that election.
Really?
Yeah.
I was out there for Christmas. I don't remember my brother saying anything.
So their legal sales started recently, like in the summertime.
Okay.
and
I figured,
they
yeah,
don't have
'cause I didn't
They
know
don't even
anything.
have product on the shelves yet. It's the same
Yeah.
with like Massachusetts. We
Massachusetts
were,
hit a wall.
Yeah, my girlfriend and I were in Provincetown over 4th of July that whole week, and it was the week that rec went legal
Yeah.
in Massachusetts. And going into that, I was like, oh, hell yeah. We'll go to a dispensary. Naive thoughts from a dumbass, you know. There's one on Cape Cod, and it's only medicinal, and nobody in Massachusetts has supply, period, you know. So they legalize it, but don't know what's happening, and you see that time and time again.
Yeah, they
with-
legalize it, but it's not there.
Yeah, like, I mean, and like I said before with California, like nobody actually bought into it, so it's legalized, but they don't have anybody really growing for them. They do, but not enough, you know.
That's funny.
No.
So, and all right, and who else? Is that it?
No, there's definitely more. Oh, Nevada.
Yep, Nevada.
Is Maine there? Maine's getting close.
Maine's-
They're teasing. They're
They're
always,
very close.
Yeah,
they're very
It's
close.
just that governor that I feel like he's the only one there putting up a fight.
Yeah,
You know?
he's old school.
Yeah.
No, because like in Mass, there's like in Northampton, there's like this cannabis club. There's weird loopholes in the Mass thing because it can be gifted with a purchase of something else.
No shit.
This is what I've heard. They found a loophole, so you'll go to like and I hate talking about things that I don't know 100%, but this is what I've heard.
Yeah.
There's a couple that are run by like local motorcycle clubs, and they found the loophole and they're selling it a certain way. My boy went up there and he showed me.
Yeah.
Like, and he sent me pictures, and it's like beautiful. Packaging is beautiful. The marketing, like the stickers and everything, it
Yep.
looks really good, right?
Yeah.
But it's done by like this like weird little faction of people because they found a loophole before it went totally like all like buyable.
Right.
But it's like buy this $300 T-shirt, but we're gonna give you this this ounce of weed for free. You know,
Yeah.
it's like one of those.
What
things.
kind of shop is that? Like a T-shirt shop?
It's I don't even know what the thing is that they give you, but it's like they call it a club, a club.
Yeah.
And then there's these other things. Somebody actually asked me to go to one, just because I food right. There's like these pop-ups now that people are doing where it's all like marijuana food.
Yep. Yeah.
Like a crazy ass 7-course tasting menu, like high end shit, foie gras, fucking oysters and shit.
Right.
But there's shit with marijuana with THC in it, and I could only imagine what the fuck would happen with that. Like,
yeah, I would think that it's measured out
It's
nicely
gotta
so
be.
you can consume all of it.
it's got to
you know,
because
but,
if not, you'd be sleeping.
Yeah.
Before you even got out of the fucking dinner.
So I haven't heard of that, but that makes perfect sense to me that would exist.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it? You
my,
know?
my buddy sent it to me. He goes, "You would think this is interesting." He's
Yeah.
like, "Imagine like writing a review on a restaurant like this." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit!" And it's right in Worcester.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called? Do you know?
I got to look it up.
Yeah.
I can send you the Facebook. They have their own page. It's like, it's got a dumbass name like Weed Chefs or something stupid.
Yeah. You know, Massachusetts is so interesting to me just because I think about like when I was younger and you couldn't buy beer on Sundays.
Yep.
And
Just like
travel over the
Connecticut.
line. Go get your beer, watch some football. Like
Yep.
it seems like it's gonna end up like that with pot for at least the next couple of years. Go right over the line, get your pot,
Yep.
come right back.
Yep.
You know.
Totally. Yeah. If Massachusetts goes totally recreational, motherfuckers
It's
are going
happened.
to drive there from
Yeah.
all over Connecticut
Yep.
to go there.
And
that's when someone's going to fucking raise an eyebrow.
it's illegal. That is illegal.
That is illegal.
Yeah.
But I'm saying someone down here, even though it's illegal, will raise an eyebrow and be like, we're losing money.
Oh,
Because
yes.
there's people that could be spending money in this
Yep.
state, number one, breaking the law by going over the border and bringing it back in, but they're spending their money in another state.
Right.
If you had half the fucking brain, you'd make it legal here, keep people from breaking the law, and retain that money.
Yeah, absolutely.
How is it not like a thing? It's just not like we only just talked about 7 states. Like
Right.
the rest, like aren't like don't even think about it.
They
think about it.
They
but
definitely think about
A
it.
lot of them are scared. A lot of them don't have the information, and like,
None of them have the information.
I just
And
wonder what happened with these states that came first. Like, who was the dude to be like, "This is good. Like, let's do this." Like, who was in office at the time, like that did that?
Yeah,
Like,
you know, I don't know. You see it, and there are progressive strongholds in the country.
Yeah.
The first ones, you know.
that no one really knows about. That's what's cool to me.
Yeah,
I
for
like
sure,
that.
for sure.
What else? You got. I want everybody to know that Chris is the first person that's come with 3 legal pieces of paper full of notes, not even lines here and there. You have like an actual like essay over there. and
I've said all my.
You did not
I've
go
said
through
all my
that.
stuff.
Give me some. I know you got some more stats. Give me. Tell us something that the regular listen wouldn't know.
So, I've mentioned competition quite a few times
Yep.
already, and you see it play out in the Pacific Northwest. There's just so much pot that has flooded the market. I saw this. These stats are very recent. This is from last week. Right now in Oregon, there's 60 times more product than the volume of sales.
Oh, it's overhead.
They're fucked. Nobody's making money there.
And it's sitting.
Yeah. They can't move it.
So they like blew their load. Like they went too crazy, too fast.
Right. It's the same in Washington too. They both issued too many licenses right off the bat. Everybody who wanted one could get one, and too much product in the market.
So did that same thing happen to Colorado, or they seem like they have their shit together?
No, they do have their shit together much more than any other state, which is impressive because they're the first one too.
Yeah.
What happened in Colorado, it might have been this week even. It's in August. The beginning of August is that they put in a new pesticides testing policy. Ooh. And there was initially some worry that would affect their stock and that there could be a shortage. Mm-hmm. But the price per pound fell again this week, so it seems like that's going to be okay. It doesn't seem like anybody's too worried about how much product there'll be next week, Do
you know a lot about pricing?
More or less. No. I mean, no. I was going to say more or less, but no. The answer is no.
And that's another thing that could fluctuate too, because on the kind of pot it is.
Right.
Somebody could be getting a lot more for something that's like sought after, and your dude that's like growing like an ugly CBD hybrid plant that's used for like lotions and shit, that's not going to be getting like $4,000 a pound. Like.
Right. So like Colorado saw $4,000 a pound when it first started, but those numbers now are completely gone.
Yeah.
For the national average last week, it was $1,400 for indoor bud, and then $1,000 for greenhouse bud, and $700 for outdoor bud.
And that's on a market, like a recreational scale, not like your boy like selling.
Right.
Like,
no, those are all legal.
That's like legitimate. The cheapest legitimate price that's going on right now.
Right.
$1,400 per
average,
pound.
Not cheapest. That's average. Yeah.
But to me, $1,400 for like a good pound of weed is a deal.
Yeah.
If you're like buying it, like if you were buying it in the street.
There's, like I said, I mean, Oregon and Washington who knows how much they're throwing those numbers off with their oversupply.
You got to figure if you want to fucking get rid of it before it goes bad, you've got to bring the price down.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where the greenhouse becomes so essential.
Do you think at any point there was ever in these two states, all right, let's say like guy's got his operation, he's totally legit, got all this pot going, it's not selling. Do you think some of them opened the back door? Just to get it off?
Yeah.
Someone's got it.
How could you not?
Exactly.
Yeah. You're just going to let it sit there and get stale,
They're probably giving it to their fucking, like, workers and shit. Here, take a mason jar of pot tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of those guys just smoke it as they want it while they're there. It's hard to say with that type of stuff, though, just because state by state it's so different.
You can't, I wouldn't expect somebody like the feds or something like that. Like, when we have methadone, they destroy it a certain way. They get rid of it a certain way.
Oh, really?
It does have a shelf life, and they destroy it. But, like, I could see, like, something that's not regulated by the feds, like marijuana like that, like, you'd see a dude, like, this is going bad. Like, we need to do something with it.
Right.
Like, what are we going to do? Like, are we going to lose all the money or at least fucking, do they have sales? Do you think, well, motherfucker, you could walk into, like, a recreational store and be like, yo, there's a sale on this. Like, you would go to the meat market. It's about to go out tomorrow, like, half price.
I was in Las Vegas with some of my colleagues, and we got these gift cards. We were at a cannabis show, and it was not a sale, but I got to remember how it was. You either went to a URL or texted the number on your card.
Yeah.
And it told you the savings you would get or whatever. And it's our last night there. One of the kids I'm with gets $500 free to use at this dispensary. It's our last goddamn night there. But whether you walk in there and they have sales posted, I don't know. But there's promotions for sure.
I've heard of some promotions that go on in the Connecticut ones. And it's nothing like product to product, like, oh, this is half off today. It's more like the whole day. We're having an Easter sale.
Yeah.
10% off of everything today. Like stuff like that.
Right.
Not certain stuff.
Right.
But yeah, that's the only thing I've ever heard about Connecticut.
It's going to get there. It's going to be so commercialized and look like every other store in a few years, you know?
It's just going to look like it'll probably look like a vape store, like a bong store, somewhere you go to do that. Or if people are smart, they could figure out how you have an existing storefront that does sell, like Songbirds is down here. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, how do you fucking pivot to get this shit sold out of the store? Like, you already have your store. Like, you have your property.
Right.
That would be smart.
You know, the dispensaries I've been in, it always kind of looked like a jewelry store.
Yep.
It wasn't laid out in front of you necessarily, but very clearly it's goods, and you're not getting your hands on them until you've deserved it.
So, and you're talking like recreational?
Yeah. Yep.
So I've never been inside a recreational one, and I would imagine that it wouldn't just be like socks at TJ Maxx where they're just
you're
one,
right.
two, I'll take 4 of those. Like they're not letting people touch it. Like
you're gonna have consulting,
yeah,
whether you want it or not. They're
gonna talk to you about it,
and they're not necessarily gonna give you advice, but they're gonna ask you what you want.
You got to figure it's like an eighth of weed costs, you can get it for like anywhere from $30 to $50.
Yeah,
but
in Nevada it was like $65. It's expensive once you work all the taxes in and stuff like that.
For like better
cheaper,
stuff, And the only thing I could equate that to is like a restaurant's like truffle dealer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And truffles are way more expensive per the weight than marijuana.
Right.
So you got to figure there's this guy that has this little organic thing that happens every once in a while that he found, and he has to go around to these places and, market it and sell it. Like that's how it's going to be, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Dude, if people do it right, anybody could like get in on the ground floor, whether it's like, just learning, doing, selling it, working in a store, like
yeah, absolutely.
And then there's other shit, like I know that the girl that I work for, or the girl that I know, the place she works at, they have like support groups and like other stuff like that that's like past like selling the actual marijuana. Like there's things involved, like there's like you said, the people that do the consulting, like they might hire someone like me, like an LPC or like a counselor, to come in and run these weird groups about like, are you smoking too much? Relapse prevention, like, how to do marijuana and not fall back into old behaviors that involve other drugs, or, stuff like that. Like, it's going to get bigger than people think.
Yeah. So do you see opportunities for addicts and people like that to use CBD? Maybe not high THC product, but
both.
Yeah.
Like, and I've been, so my agency, we work in methadone, and we also carry the name dispensary. That's in the name of my agency. And for years, it kind of like, once marijuana came in, we would get calls, like people calling each individual clinic asking how to get their card, and I'd be like, this is a methadone dispensary, right? And it started catching on like that, and then like you just look down the road, like we are opening a new facility that's only like mental health stuff and just like therapists and maybe Suboxone. And like we went to like these brainstorming meetings on like what would the perfect like new like location have, and like people, they're like, go as crazy as you want, and they put this like
from like a customer experience,
what a customer would want, like a therapeutic environment, and like people are writing on this board, and I'm like putting like sensory deprivation chambers, yoga.
Have you done that?
Yeah.
Did yoga.
You like it? I've done cryogenic. I haven't sat in the pod. I want to though.
Yeah, hell yeah.
They have a place right in Harwinton.
Yeah, is there one in New Haven now too? They're around.
The only ones I knew about for a while were Harwinton and Stamford.
Okay,
and that's where the nice ones were.
Yep.
So people are writing like, yeah, shit like that, like childcare, and everybody did was like medical marijuana.
Yep.
And like they didn't bat an eye because like they're like at some point like that is going to be a therapy option for like mental health facilities.
Right.
You know, it probably won't happen, but people are looking at it as an option where 10 years ago somebody in the room would have like been like offended, like you're gonna have drugs here.
Right. Well, I feel like we're all brainwashed to think that that's problematic
100%
in some way, and I don't know enough whether it is or isn't. I could see, based off of no knowledge of this myself, somebody maybe relapsing because they get too high,
totally.
you know.
Well, the thing is like and that's a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like as an addict, you know, somebody in recovery, you look at it two different ways. Like it depends on where you are in your recovery and if you actually need it. If you're fine with being in recovery and not changing the way you feel and your life is going, and like you just want to remain sober Ben all the time, that's 100% fine. If that works, do you. But if somebody has an ailment and they think medical marijuana could help, like PTSD, I don't think we should take it away from them and pigeonhole them, telling them they're already an addict.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They're not going to do something illegal. Like if it doesn't work, that's fine. You didn't fucking relapse. You're trying out a new therapy approach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we all know people can go overboard with anything. And we all know like doing something else could lead to something else. And I used to, when I first got into this field, I always thought that the fucking whole gateway drug thing was so fucking stupid.
Really?
But you have to look at it now because like what you just said, could an ex-addict, somebody that was addicted to opioids, get clean and then start using marijuana?
Right.
And go back to using opioids? Probably, but maybe they don't even have a correlation. Maybe they do. It depends on what the people are doing and where you are in your life.
Right.
And like who you're hanging around with. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like,
I see, like where I would see an issue is somebody doses themselves on edibles and has no idea what they're consuming.
oh, yeah.
And
like losing their
loses it.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like having a bad trip.
Right.
Like you don't fucking know. Like if you've never done this before, you need to take it easy.
Right. And that's where the consultation in these dispensaries comes in.
And that's
So handy.
Yep.
You should listen to them.
And that's the thing. Like, if somebody came into a recreational store and was like, I want to buy that ounce of weed, whatever, let them buy the ounce of weed. But if somebody's like, okay, I'm going to fucking go and take a fucking 250 milligram Genahos pill that costs me $30, and you're not going to be able to talk for a day. Like, you're going to be toasted.
You can't consume an ounce of weed very easily. You can plop something in your mouth and get it down.
It's like a dog. Like you're not going to be able to eat and smoke.
Right.
Like by the time you smoke all that weed, you're going to be to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore.
Your lungs are going to hurt. You're going to be lazy.
But it's definitely like crazy to know that you can take a pill that's like taking an Advil that has 250 milligrams of THC in it. I've seen ones with 5. I don't think they have them in Connecticut, but you see them like online and like fucking what's his name, Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz. They're consuming so much marijuana.
He takes like 4.
I like he doses his sidekick too.
And then they make fun of him and they put the camera on him and the dude's like toasted.
He's in outer space.
Dude, it's like I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, we saw Joey Diaz when he was in Foxwoods. Was that maybe last year or something? It was fantastic.
I love him.
It was so good.
He reminds me of my dad.
Oh, really?
Like a fatter version of my dad, dude. When my dad could have had his fucking marbles.
I was rolling around on Instagram last night, later in the evening, and he was repping Henry Rollins. Henry Rollins and him made a little video together, and I guess Henry Rollins has some kind of special coming out on Showtime next week. But
I'll watch it.
It was I'll definitely watch it. I just thought those two together was just made me so happy to see them.
Because it's so funny because Joey's such a maniac, and I feel like Rollins is kind of like a serious dude.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know how serious he actually is. He just seems like he's got his shit so together.
Oh yeah,
that it's like you would mistake that for serious potentially. Yeah, you know, he seems probably okay.
He seems like the dude that's like a motivational speaker, but like you all know that like he was Henry Rollins. Like, he did some crazy shit at some point.
The spoken word I've heard of his too sometimes does seem like it's motivational.
Totally
type stuff.
Totally, yeah. He's crazy. Yeah, but he's also a dude that you could probably trust. Like if he was your friend, like. we don't know what to do. Call Henry. Like, shit's about to hit the fan. Like, call Henry.
Right. I feel like he probably doesn't have any friends. So if you consider him a friend, it's probably true.
That's another thing. He might have 0 friends because he's such a maniac.
Yeah. But, I was going to ask you, like, where the hell is the crossover between the stoner community and the hardcore and punk rock? And I feel like it's Black Flag to begin with, and then kind of never crosses back over again.
Dude, like, nowadays, like, people are still, like, I have a lot of straight edge friends still.
Yep.
There's a lot of young kids coming up that are still straight edge.
Yeah, good for them. Good for them.
And it's funny because, like, as a younger person when I was younger, that dude that smoked pot was the quintessential stony bro.
Right.
Didn't want to have nothing to do with hardcore.
Yeah.
But nowadays, like, you see these dudes that are into, like, good hardcore bands, but are also, like, heavy weed smokers, and it's not that tired bro thing. It's just they're just, that's their thing. They're doing it to level out. I know a lot of people that if they don't smoke marijuana, they're different. They can't live like that.
Really?
And it's almost like it's almost as if, like, maybe you should have found a medication that did that for you.
Right.
But if this does that for you, you're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
We both know people that smoke 100 times, like, all day.
Right.
And because they are either really anxious, or they're the other way.
Yeah,
they're super low and they need to, like, lift themselves up.
Right.
And like, my field does that with pharmaceuticals, but now there's this,
right?
And people need to look at that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
For
and
sure.
Like, people that they're gonna get pushed back for a long time. But at one point,
in what sense?
Like old school doctors.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, like, and we're in Connecticut. This isn't the most progressive, like, forward-thinking place. Like, you can go to like I bet you could go to California and there's got to be some therapists somewhere that are okay with your fucking marijuana use, and that's that.
Yeah, well,
like, and I like the way we look at it with methadone is, like, if you're taking this substance and it's kept you from using an illegal substance and it's benefiting your life and you're going to work every day and you're doing what you got to do, then it's working.
Right.
We're not going to take it away from you. And at some point, like, people are going to start realizing that marijuana is the same deal.
It's exactly the same.
It could be abused, but it could also be used correctly.
Right. Yeah. The thing that sucks with it too is it's so different for every person. I don't know about methadone.
And that's the thing, like, pharmaceuticals will probably do, they probably, like, across the board, they do what they need to do for that person. With marijuana, like, you, yes?
Do you need me to take a picture soon, or should I walk him?
Go ahead and walk them.
Sorry.
That's all right.
It's all good.
I just didn't,
Bye-bye. 2 episodes in a row I've been barged in on.
Was the dog with it both times?
No, it was my landlord last time.
With your fiance. No, the dog. Nothing better than getting interrupted by a dog.
No,
right?
he's a good boy. Like, fuck. No, I can't find where we were. But yeah, it's like, it's a therapy. What do you think about the age? That's another topic.
Yeah, that's a rough one. I've heard that smoking pot too early is going to really affect your brain development.
So here's the thing. Your brain is not fully developed till 24.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So people that want to smoke pot are usually younger than 24.
Right.
But, like, that's a whole nother thing. So, like, that's proven.
Right.
The brain is not totally developed until 24. Totally solidified and crystallized until 24. So, and I'm a firm believer in whatever drug you use, it stunts your, like, your, just like your mental growth.
Right.
And when you stop, it starts again. And I look at myself.
What if you're after 24?
I guarantee you it will put a stop anywhere.
Yep.
But the thing is, like, after 24, you've kind of, like, have these, like, life lessons built in.
Right, yeah.
If you're so fucking high that you haven't learned these life lessons because you're, like, 19, you're going to miss, like, a stage in your life.
Yep.
So, like, me, I started using drugs early. And like regular, like marijuana. I dabbled with fucking acid a lot.
Yep.
Mushrooms. Like that was probably like high school days. And
Right.
like a lot of drinking, keg party shit, you know what I mean? And then probably like the year I got out of high school, you know, I started fucking with like coke and like I'd do a Percocet here and there.
Yep.
Ecstasy. And then when I, you know, fell into the whole heroin thing when I moved to Poughkeepsie. That was 99. Okay. And I was 22.
Okay.
I didn't get clean until I was 29.
Yep.
So, what is that? Fucking 8 years? Something like that? What did I say?
I'm not a numbers guy.
22 to 29. 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm a firm believer that time I did not mentally develop.
Right.
That whole time.
Yep.
A lot having to be with, I had one objective every single day.
Right.
Was to get that and get it in me and feel better.
Yep.
Like the first year, that wasn't a problem because I would just do it and do it and do it. But that first time that I didn't do it and I found out what opiate withdrawal was all about,
Yep.
then I was like, I need to do this every day. I didn't think like I should get help, and I stayed there for fucking almost 8 years, and then I was like, fuck, I need help. Because life had become unmanageable. None of my friends were talking to me anymore. I had alienated my family. I had robbed, cheated, and stealed fucking every single person I know. And then I was like, fuck, I got to do this. And then once I got clean again, it all started coming back.
Right.
Emotions, like crazy shit. You're not feeling any of those things. Like I do believe this to be true with marijuana also. But this is the thing. If your brain is already developed and you're a marijuana smoker, like whatever, like you're going to do that for as long. But like, it's like, I think they should make, if they do it recreationally, it should, and they're not gonna just because it doesn't sound good, but I think it should be 24.
I completely agree with you with what you just laid out. I don't disagree at all. That number doesn't sound right either.
It's just weird. Like,
yeah.
Because we've always grown up with, you got to be 21 to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And even some of these weirder states, there's a couple that are 18.
Right.
Like, I think Nevada's one of them.
I think the bottom line too is if you want to smoke pot, you're gonna get it.
And that's the thing. They're gonna get it somewhere else, and maybe they'll look at it like, all right, like it's a harm reduction thing. We got it legal for everybody over 24. Are we going to really fuck these kids over with like criminal charges because they have it?
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah.
We're not going to. They're not going to want to do that, and then they're going to look at it and be like, "All right, we're making more work from ourselves. We're arresting all these underage kids for doing something that's illegal. Like it's going to be like underage drinking."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they're going to lower the number back down, and that's that.
Yeah.
That's what I see coming.
So, like, what would be an alternative to being charged with a crime? Is there, like, how could you punish a 16-year-old for smoking pot?
Shit.
And now in today's world, we know that it's going to happen. You don't want to fuck this person's life up forever. Like, what's the alternative? You know, there's got to be something. I don't know what it is.
They'll probably have some program.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it wouldn't be like and I wouldn't see it being like a crazy program like IOP somewhere, like a kid having to go to a group for 3 hours 5 nights a week. I think they would probably just make him do like an educational course. It'd be like when you get arrested for DWI and you got to go take those 10 classes. Yeah. It'd be something like that.
Yep.
Okay, you want to fuck around and do it again? All right, boom, $400 more until you learn, you know, and maybe they'll stop and like wait until they're 24, but you know,
it seems like
it's really the only downside.
If I was 16 and somebody charged me $100, like that would have ended my life for a month. You know? It wouldn't take much.
You were done, dude. Like it's just like that's the only downside I see is like young kids. Because if we let this go on and it does become legal and all these kids are smoking, there will be a generation of like people that are a little bit on to the deficit mentally.
Right. Yeah. I completely.
It's already happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, let them fucking grow their brain correctly and be smart, and then fucking figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I'm part of the substance abuse prevention committee for West Hartford, and I'm also part of this West Hartford prevention partnership. And like we give the town council suggestions on what to do as far as laws like that inside the school district.
Yep.
And they always look to me because they'll have like a cop is like one of the board members. I'm the substance abuse counselor. Then they'll have like a youth, like a social worker, like a school counselor.
Right.
There's a principal of one of the fucking schools, and then they have actual peer advocates, like these kids that come in.
Okay.
And they have like an hour and a half meeting, and we fucking throw shit back and forth, and then they take it to the town to make these rules. And I was adamant about 24 because there was like they were doing something legislative that had to do with Connecticut, and they were looking for numbers.
Yep.
And we all like talked about it that day, and I was like, it's got to be 24.
Right.
Like I couldn't do my job, the job that I do, telling somebody that like they could do a drug that would fuck up their memory and shit before the time that their brain was right. Like,
right.
I just couldn't do it like being somebody that worked in the field.
Do you find those meetings productive?
No. The thing I do find productive about them is every once in a while. So there's the two that I told you about, because the one, we couldn't make our own policies because we had to give a referral to the town. So everybody stays afterwards now for a whole another half hour, and we're our own entity that does do that.
Okay.
You have to do these weird things to get around like these little town like quirks and laws and stuff.
Right.
And then that stuff happens. Like they take just like a conversation that we'll have, and they'll go and like change the policies inside the schools, like kids getting in trouble. Like nobody wants some fucking young kid to get fucked over with a charge,
right.
And they have stuff like that in place. Like we're not going to call the police, we're going to get the parents involved, we're going to get the school counselor involved, and there's going to be some sort of intervention without fucking this kid over.
When you were growing up, would they have fucked you over?
I got arrested. Dude, I'm
in the school.
Yeah.
They would have
totally.
They would have done it with a smile in my school.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, my only felony on my record is something that was cut and dry, and they should have leave me alone. Like I got pulled over in my car, and somebody found brass knuckles in a jacket in my back seat that was my friend's.
Right.
That cop didn't give a fuck.
Right.
He stuck that felony to me.
Yep.
And if I was a fucking cop and I gave him my fucking military ID too. I was in the military at the time. Like if I was a cop and I pulled some fucking kid over for speeding and I found fucking brass knuckles in his car, but he was a fucking armed service member, get the fuck out. I'm taking these.
Right.
Go home.
Yeah.
No, this motherfucking pig fucked me, and now 20 years later, I'm going through a fucking process that's a lot of fucking writing, and it's costing me $2,500. So fuck him.
Yeah. Fuck him.
But like, it's just like, would he have done that to his own kid? Like, or maybe he didn't have kids. Maybe he's just a fucking childless pig.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole. I get so mad about that every day. I did get arrested for out of all the shit I did, I only had one drug charge, and it was marijuana. But I was being an idiot. We rolled, me, Eric, Chauncey.
Okay.
Me, him, my boy Ryan, and I think my brother. We remember when you could roll a Garcia Vega green leaf?
Yeah.
We roll a Garcia Vega green leaf. Dude,
Can you not do that anymore?
I don't see anybody smoking green leaves.
I don't see anybody smoking blunts anymore. It's gotta.
Today's like, it depends. Like it depends on like. I see the rap community.
Yeah.
They smoke backwoods. They roll backwards.
Like they got it and then fill it up.
I did that once.
Sounds
when I was
tasty.
Dude, it was so harsh.
Oh, really?
It was so harsh to do that back in the day. Like a Philly blunt. Nobody's rolling. It's all those wraps now.
Right.
It's all those
That
wraps.
was big when I was in like high school and college and stuff.
When you were younger, that's when that shit boomed.
Yep.
When I was younger smoking pot, like that shit like just started to happen.
Right.
You had to go get a blunt, and in some states they didn't sell Philly blunts, so you had to get a Swisher Sweet or a White Owl or some dumb shit like that. Now people don't buy a blunt anymore.
Dutch Masters was
Dutch
the one.
Masters, yeah, those are good. Dutch Masters is the ones that make the green leaves.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So fucking we're fucking smoking this huge fucking green leaf blunt in my mother's Topaz. I'm driving down the end of fucking Stafford Ave in Bristol that goes into Burlington. I don't know what the fuck I thought I was doing out there. Like, a cop sees a car of kids, it doesn't matter what's going on, he's gonna pull you over.
Right.
The fucking car is full with smoke, and I'm driving and Eric's in the passenger seat, and the cop pulls me over, and I give it to Eric. I go, dude, eat it, but it's like the full blunt, and it's like full of like fire. He's like, I'm gonna burn myself, and he shoves it in the fucking my mother's ashtray. She had like 50 Marlboro Light cigarette butts in there.
Yeah.
And he shuts it, and they just start burning.
Yeah.
And the car just starts to billow with smoke. The cop comes up to the fucking window, and he's like, what are you guys doing? And there's just smoke everywhere. But it was really funny because you could only smell a little marijuana. It smelled like something was burning.
Right.
And he knew what we did. He's like laughing.
Yeah.
And he like makes everybody get out of the car. He finds the blunt. He arrests me. My mom's car got towed, and he made all three of them walk home. And this is like, Eric was the closest to where we were, but like my brother lived on the whole other side. He like had to walk all the way through Bristol to get home. And it's just like, do you think shit like that is happening to kids today?
I hope not.
I really hope
I want to
not.
laugh at that story. It's a funny story.
Please laugh at it.
It brings me back to like the anxiety when I was 18 years old and driving around. It was so much, it was.
And I'll tell you what, like, being out and behind the wheel, like under the influence like that, that's not the best like thing to be doing. But like today, like the laws when you get your card are like no smoking in public is one of the one of the laws on the back of the card. But like I always thought, like, what's public? Like you're obviously not going to fucking start fucking blazing up in a movie theater, and you're obviously not going to smoke anywhere where there's no smoking allowed of like cigarettes. But like, what's public? Like say like a parade was going down my street, and I just like walked out onto the grass in front of my house and started smoking a joint. Is that's
public? I would say that's public.
So what's not public? In your own house?
I would say in your house. I think
you can't. And it also says no driving. You can't have it in your car. You can have it in your car, but you can't smoke it in your car.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't think people should be driving.
Yeah, totally not.
So many people are probably saying, what the hell are you talking about? It's perfectly fine, but I say no to that.
No, definitely not.
I think as these laws develop and they try to feel it out, like,
you can get
it would behoove everybody to just be as polite about it as you can and just do it in your house. And
don't give them any reason.
Who cares what public is?
Yeah.
Keep it in your house. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Well, and like to your point, like you're going hiking, you're out there all alone. Is that public? Would a cop could probably make the point if he wanted to fuck you over?
Yeah, a DE agent will.
You're not in your house.
Get you in a second.
Yeah.
A DEP.
Yeah.
will absolutely get you in a second. They'll love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a little different, though. I hear you. Yeah, you're out in the middle of the woods.
Obviously, you're not gonna like light up a joint like standing in like shoulder to shoulder people like on a fucking subway platform. That's definitely public. But
right.
I feel like there's a little bit of a gray area, but yeah, totally. Do it in your house. Or your backyard where you're alone.
Manners. I think it's going to come down to manners.
It does come down to
manners. The more
manners.
assholes there are, the stricter these laws are going to become.
And the same thing, it's like, would you want someone like smoking a cigarette near you if you don't smoke cigarettes? No. It's the same thing with like a dude, like I smoke cigars, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm always like weary about like if my shit is going downwind at people. Like I'm not smoking a cigar like in a party with like mad people around me, like because I know the smoke gets everywhere. So I think if people thought about it with the same way they think about that, everybody would be better for it.
Yeah, for sure. You just gotta do right by your common man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What else are we gonna talk about, bro?
I want to ask you this. We were in a band together.
Yeah.
Do you remember the other guitar player? Because it is such a mental dead spot for me.
Fuck. Sal played drums.
Yep.
I feel like there was a couple people that like kind of shuffled through. It was you.
I was the one that shuffled.
Didn't Marco play?
No.
Didn't Marco play for a short second? I thought for a second Marco played for like
So, like, I know this kid was from New Jersey, and he was going to U-Heart, but, like, what he looks like,
dude,
who he is.
You're asking me to remember, like, that
right.
year before, like, I got clean.
Yeah.
Like, when we were in that band, I was toasted.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was totally fun. I don't know how good of a fucking bass player I was, but, like, I could play the songs, but there was definitely days where I couldn't play the songs.
I feel like Sal just showed everybody up, and that dude knew how to play an instrument.
Oh, he played drums great.
I would show up and drink beer.
Yeah.
And
I'd show
maybe
up
play the songs.
I'd show up and leave to go cop and, like, come back high. Like, yeah, like, but...
Is there a scene anymore?
Oh, there's a huge Connecticut hardcore scene.
Really?
I thought you would know.
No, I don't see it online. I don't see anything. I don't see shows posted anywhere.
Dude, like, you gotta know. Like, you gotta be in the know. Like,
right.
Well, like, you remember the Wallingford American Legion?
Yeah, I know that's back in business.
That's like the hot spot for shows in Connecticut.
Yep. Death
like,
Threat played there
a
few months ago, right?
Yeah, and they're playing a bunch of, like, anniversary shows this fall because it's their 20th anniversary.
Yep. You had him on here just a few weeks ago.
Two weeks ago.
I feel like when we were hanging out 10 years ago, 50% of our communication was in his voice.
Oh, yeah. And he definitely knows who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody always loved the moniker, Colonial Chris. I forgot who gave that to you. If it was me or Eric, but I can't fucking... I just remember somebody was like, dude, he just looks like an all-American, like, New England guy, Colonial Chris. But, like, there's a huge hardcore scene, but, like, it depends where you are. Like, I don't feel like New York still has a lot of bands, but, like, there's a lot of bands from Long Island, there's a lot of bands from Massachusetts, but it's like...
What about in Connecticut?
There's a lot of, like, you know, there is a scene because there's a band called Cast in Blood that Rick from fucking 100 Demons is in. 100 Demons is still a band.
Right.
Laid to Rest was a band for a while, and I don't think they're playing shows anymore, but they were, like, a huge hardcore band, and they got pretty big pretty fast. Why am I drawing out?
So, like, I was in a band a couple years ago with Chip and Rob.
Yeah, what's his what the fuck
and
is
Mark?
The name? What was the name of it?
Deep Trouble.
Yeah, Deep Trouble, and you guys only played a couple shows.
We never got on any hardcore shows or anything, though. It was all weirdo shows in, like, New Haven and stuff.
Oh, like
good shows, like cool shows for sure, but, like,
yeah.
We played with, like, Cage, you know?
Yeah.
It was, like, stuff like that.
I remember that show.
Yeah, I think that was the last one.
That was your last one,
Yeah.
because that's the last time I ever saw him perform, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Is he still around?
He lives in L.A., and he is basically, like, don't get me wrong, I love him, but he's basically a juggalo. Because, like, his following is only big now in that scene. Like, if he made some hard-ass album, he could totally come back and play, like, to your, like, hip-hop fan.
Right.
But, like, right now, like, he kind of made that weird transition to, like, he had, like, a big, like, Warped Tour kid following.
It got very moody.
It got very moody, and he had, like, a Warped Tourish Hot Topic, like, rap following. And now he, like, plays the fucking Gathering of the Juggalos every year, and he probably gets banked. Yo,
yeah, I mean,
there's a lot.
I'm not hating on that at all. I'm just surprised to hear that.
There's a lot of people that get to ask to go there, and, like, they, like, there's a lot of rappers that go there. I remember years ago, fucking, like, Bushwick Bill went, and then, like, Tech Nine, and then you saw, like, Killer Priest and, like, Wu-Tang members doing it, and now, like, they asked Waka Flocka to come a couple years ago, and there's a really funny video online of, like, the Juggalos turning against him and, like, throwing bottles at him. It's pretty crazy, but, like,
what do they drink? What's that stuff called?
Fago. And they, like, turn on him, and he, like, gets, like, rushed off, like, rushed off stage and has to, like, run to his, like, tour bus.
Yeah.
And then they, like, interview him about, like, the Juggalos throwing bottles at him.
Those Juggalos seem diehard in the best way and the worst way, all wrapped in
They're
one.
They're the best and worst thing ever to ever happen. When that whole Juggalo March on Washington happened, I wanted to go.
What the hell is this? I don't know about this.
There was a Juggalo March on Washington.
For what?
Just Juggalo rights. Well, I guess at some point they were trying to, like, make them a gang, like a criminal organization. Yeah. and like they weren't fucking having it. And if juggalos want to go and fucking knock on Trump's door, I'm
not gonna stop them.
I'm standing there right with them, dude. Some of them, like, I know a couple friends that used to be juggalos and they've kind of went their own way in life, but like those people are some of the funniest people I know. Those are the real comedians I know, because those are like, I look at juggalos as like kids that grew up with no hardcore scene in their area, no punk scene, and that's what they knew. A lot of Midwest people.
I was going to say isolated communities for sure.
Yep. Some motherfucker found a fucking ICP tape, and that was his shit.
Yeah, I mean, when I first heard that, I was probably like 10 or 11. I was like, holy shit. Like, all these, the swearing, the language.
Yeah, you're like, this
seemed
is
totally
different.
fucking cool to me.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember when we were like budding hardcore kids going to the skate park. And this is how long they've been around. We found a cassette single for the song "Chicken Huntin'." Do you remember that song?
I don't know. I don't know many songs.
That was like their original like big hit.
Yeah,
and I remember just laughing my ass off.
Speaking of that, I got to tell you, when you had Aaron in here and you oh dude, I forget what the fucking story was, but you said he's just pissed because you're making all the same mistakes he did. I had to leave my cubicle because I was laughing so goddamn hard.
Yeah, man, that's what like, but like we were talking about like the older hardcore dudes like letting like younger kids into the scene.
Yeah,
like looking at them like, what the fuck are you doing? Right. But when it was really the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's cool how all those, I feel like the bands that were around before I started getting into it are still around.
There's a lot of bands
and
that
then,
still
like,
play. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's impressive. I mean, Death Threat is
one of the
so
best.
fucking awesome.
They're just one of the best.
Still,
like it's like pure hardcore. It's not
Yep.
trying to be anything else.
No.
You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of hardcore bands will take that one chance in one song to try to do it a different way into another genre.
Yeah.
Death Threat always has been hardcore front to back.
Right.
To the end of any recording they've done.
I would love to see some hardcore bands do that, though. Take more chances. Like, I feel like that's the big reason why I don't listen.
Well, don't get me wrong.
Anymore.
Some do that for their benefit. And they break into different genres and they get big.
Yep.
But like, you know, some try it and fucking fail.
Right.
And I feel like Death Threat has been like they never sold out.
No. Yeah.
They never sold out. Like a band like Hatebreed was like the quintessential hardcore band on the East Coast for a long time. Bigger than Madball, fucking like all kinds of shit. Bigger than fucking Blood for Blood. And they kind of just took that the way upward. They didn't go to any weird like way. They just got better, bigger shows, better people like producing their albums, and it's all still like, you know, that like it. You could say it's metalcore because they're like a bigger band, but like if you listen to some of the songs, like it's still set up like a hardcore fucking song front to back.
Right.
And it's hard as fuck.
Well, I would love to be able to step back from that and hear their songs not knowing who's listening to it. Yeah. And then maybe it would sound a lot more hardcore because the bands they play with, the people that go to those shows
are like
the 1069. I don't think that still exists, but you know, the new metal type crowd.
Harley moms, I call them. And they know it.
Right.
And it's funny because when they come back and like they play like at Toad's place, it's just like they don't play new shit. They play all that old shit and maybe a couple new songs. But when they're out like playing like the Philippines, they like have to play their new shit because it's like they're touring for that album and then they're doing like that shit. Like,
right.
They have two kinds of fans. They have the fucking young hardcore dudes or the old hardcore dudes that was their favorite band back in the day when they were playing hardcore shows, and then they have the fans that know them from like Ozfest.
Right.
It's two worlds.
Good for them. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good for them.
They're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
Like Jamie's
and it's not going to slow down, right? It seems like it's going to be here 15 years from now, 20 years from now.
Every time I see them, they're on the road playing shows, playing huge venues, and like just like touring, and if they're not touring, they're making a new album.
Yeah, you know what? I really like that band, Twitching Tongues.
Twitching Tongues is great. Yeah. Twitching Tongues is really good. They're another band that was one thing and gambled on something different.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah, it's totally cool. You know, I really like it. There are parts of their songs that it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, you do something different, it's going to be hit or miss.
And you got to. It's like there's only two ways to do it. Stay totally true to the genre or get weird and try to figure out new things. And that's how people grow musically, really.
Yeah, definitely. There's this band called Supernatural Psycho. Have you heard of them?
No.
It was on some random... A pretty recent show. I forget where it was, but I texted Rob. I was like, "Who the hell is this band?" It was like, I would like almost like a shoegazy Stooges. Is like what I would say. Maybe like Brian Jonestown Massacre, something like that. And it's so fucking good. But they only have 4 songs.
I'm gonna go listen to it.
Rob said it's hardcore kids from Massachusetts, something like that. But it is.
Are they
so
smaller?
good.
Do they play shows, or are they like a bigger band?
I think smaller. I don't know much
You
about
could probably
it.
find like them playing a show. Like
My knowledge of it is literally like 3 texts between me and Rob.
We'll have to ask Rob what the next
Yeah.
Supernatural Psycho show
Dude,
is. And we'll
it's
drive
so
up
good.
for it.
They have this song called Rose Stoned. It's brilliant. It's so good.
And it's like kind of like stony, like
Yeah, super
shoegazy.
stony. Yeah, it's awesome. It's
I
really
love
good.
shit like that. I'm gonna give it a listen.
Yeah.
That's really funny. What are you listening to lately?
Let me see. Pull up my Discogs. I'll see what about I like this band. I'm always torn on it because I feel like I piss off a lot of metalheads, but like I love the new Deaf Heaven.
Dude, you're looking at a 100% bona fide Deaf Heaven fan, and I get the same thing that you get.
Yeah. I feel like all the metal bands I like just piss people off, you know?
Dude, it's just like that drummer is one of the most insane drummers in the world.
Yeah, dude.
And you can't even talk shit past that point. Like, those dudes rip.
Yeah.
But, like, the new album, that Corrupt Human Love, whatever, I haven't given it, like, I listened to it the other day at the gym all the way through.
Yeah.
But I was, like, lifting weights. Like, I want to sit with it. Because New Bermuda, like... 2 of those songs are fucking rippers from front to back, but they're like start off like really slow, and then one of them's weird, and then the other 2 are like in the middle, and then fucking Sunbather is just like, it's kind of weird because like there's like Dream House that's just like just the best song they've ever made.
Yep.
And then there's a lot of like weird fucking like interludes, like those weird like car and the city parts. It's like I want them to come out with an album that's not 4 songs long.
Yep.
That's ripper, smasher, fucking crazy, like just double bass, fucking craziness the whole time. I want him to scream. Like I like that he sings, but that dude's fucking voice is sick.
Yeah.
I've seen them fucking like 8 times.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I love that band.
The first time I saw them, my girlfriend and I were at Bonnaroo and just fell asleep in a field there. You know, it was a long day, and I woke up
To Deaf Heaven?
to that guy screaming. It was like, what the fuck? When I first heard it, it sounded like a screamo band from Northampton or something like that.
Totally.
That was like the first.
No,
I was
totally.
like, what the hell is this? You know, there's thousands of people everywhere for this band, but yeah,
like,
it was fantastic.
My favorite album is Roads to Judah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's like their old shit. Like the demo's cool, but that fucking album's so fucking sick. And
That's like the most atmospheric one, I would say.
That's my favorite.
It's super layered and it sounds great. I like on the new album, I like that the drums are slowed down a little bit. It's not all blasting away.
Yeah.
It's a lot more measured.
They've totally grown into something different, but like...
But it's like the same at the same time. That's like what's so awesome about it. It's like they're not losing it. It's getting better and they're not losing it.
And a lot of like hardcore dudes like make fun of me for liking them. And I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. I'm older. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
And like, I go to their shows and I have a fucking blast. Like, I saw them in the city twice. I saw them at the fucking the best time I saw them was
they played in Hamden a few years ago. I didn't go to that
Space.
one, but
it was excellent.
Yeah,
it was
sure.
fucking awesome.
That's a good place to see a show.
Yeah,
you know, especially
real
if
good.
it gets bigger bands in that tiny place. It's fantastic.
Yep, and dude, like, I got nothing bad to say about them. Only that I wish they would make more music. And that's all. Like they're pretty slow. Like, and it's weird. Like, did this new album come out on Anti? Do you know?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
So that's 2 albums with them because
Yeah.
that fucking Sunbather album is on Death Wish.
Right.
And like I don't know like what happened there, like if they were just like, all right, this label's not for us, or if like it was from the other side, like, okay guys, you signed a 1 record deal, see you later, and then they like took off. But like
Anti's an interesting label. They have like Tom Waits on. There's
they
some
have
real.
I actually, that's funny you bring that up because I actually like clicked into the website the other day and looked at the list, and they're like the only band like that on Anti.
Right, and
everything else is like folk and like weird fucking shit. Like,
it's an offshoot of Epitaph?
I think.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
Not sure either.
But they're basically the same kind of label, yeah.
Yeah. What the Culture Abuse album, that's on Epitaph, that came out a few weeks ago. That one, I love that one.
Yeah,
that's
good.
Such a that's a great summer album.
Yep.
That is a great summer album.
It's weird. Like I've been listening to like this time last year, I was just engrossed in black metal. All I was listening to is black metal.
Yep.
And like it's weird. Like when it's summer, dude, all I've been listening to is trap music. I've only been listening to new current track. I could listen to any fucking song come on in someone's car, like on the radio, and fucking say the whole song to you. Like every single thing, like Rap Caviar on Spotify.
Yeah.
I know every single song front to back. But like once it starts, the fall comes, dude, I'm right back into digging into these crazy black metal holes on YouTube, finding crazy shit, ordering weird fucking patches from fucking some crazy country that takes 3 months to get to my house. Like that's my favorite, and that's why I like Def Heaven so much, because like that's the like that drumming is like you could take that dude and put him into any fucking crazy influential black metal band like that, and then he could play you some melodic shit on top of it.
Right.
I love that band. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't either. I love Def Heaven on the record right here.
Maybe we could let them know how much we love them.
Yeah, can we send this to them? Fucking My Bloody Valentine's back too. I mean, that's huge.
I saw that they were playing a show recently.
2 nights ago in New York. I didn't see it till Tuesday. I didn't know what was happening. I would have loved to go to that.
I saw somebody's Instagram feed, and there was a million fucking people there.
Yeah, I saw them at the Hammerstein Ballroom when that last album came out, and it was like getting hit in the face. It was so loud.
Yeah,
I've never experienced anything like that. This was a good week in music in New England, though, because it was Paul Bearer, which I didn't even go to.
I love Paul Bearer, and I had tickets because I helped promote it, and I ended up going to fucking a jiu-jitsu class that night because I felt like I've been wasting away.
Thursday night's rough.
Yeah.
Weeknights
for me,
in Hampton is rough.
I can't do anything in the week. I can't stay out.
I'm just about there, too.
I wake up at 3. My first alarm goes off at 3:45.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not fucking going out. I'll do Friday, Saturday night, shoot, I'll fucking do whatever you want. A night before I don't have to work, well, let's fucking go for it, but I'm fucking too old for that shit.
Yeah. On Saturday, we went to Sleep, and it was...
Oh, where? In
Boston, yeah.
I heard that was... They're great. I love
Sleep. They're the fucking best. They're the best.
I love them.
Yeah.
But, like, your average person doesn't know about Sleep. You got to be a stony.
Yeah.
Or hardcore kids know
I was going to say that. Maybe there's some crossover with hardcore kids and Sleep. It seems like
there's a lot. Like, oh, you're cool. Like, you're weirder, older, stony hardcore dudes.
Yeah.
They definitely know about Sleep.
Matt Pike is just like...
He's the best.
End-all, be-all guitar player.
Yeah.
You know?
He's amazing.
The night before that, we saw Taylor Swift. And that was...
I think... Didn't you have that on your Instagram? Or,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's where I saw it.
It was so good. I mean, they give you these... bracelets when you walk in, and they light up with the song. They're like synced up to it, so a drum beat will hit or something, and you'll just see a wave of lights on everybody's wrist go across the stadium.
How the fuck do they do that?
No clue, no idea. It was fantastic, though. I would say this is sacrilege, but like Taylor Swift was a better stoner experience than Sleep.
Well, you gotta figure with all the lights and shit like that.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Dude, do you think it's just like a sound thing, like see how how that's going like that, or do you think they're actually synced to the music?
Some type of location thing for sure, because not everybody's would light up at the same time.
Really?
And it's not assigned to your seat either. You just get a random one when you walk in. So there's got to be. I would imagine there's some type of location thing on it, right?
I'm looking it up when you leave.
Yeah.
I'm Googling that shit.
Let me know.
Fuck, man. Yo, we've gone for an hour and a half, dude.
Not too bad. Good way to start the weekend.
It is a great way to start the weekend. Thank you for coming. This was very informative.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you. The last time I saw you was Halloween a few years ago, and you had the yellow.
Oh, me and Dave Hutchinson had
the yellow green man suit on with like the Andy Warhol wig.
What the fuck do they call those things? What the fuck do they call them? They're like a hentai suit.
Yeah, I forget if it was Matt or Chip, but one of them was like, yeah, I had to like help him wrap himself in saran wrap before.
Yeah, I had to wrap my belly in saran wrap because I didn't want to look like I had a big gut wearing the thing. Yeah. But then I couldn't like drive my car because if I bent over, it wouldn't let me bend because there was so much saran wrap.
That's how I feel wearing like a Bane shirt from 15 years ago.
Oh fuck. Yeah, I'm totally double X now. I know that I can't drop.
Oh yeah. I came to terms with single X, but it was just like when the last few months it's like it's just the way it is now.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, it's good seeing you.
Absolutely.
We'll have you back sometime as this fucking, the industry unfolds.
Yeah, see what happens.
It's a lot of stuff going on. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the information. Ladies and gentlemen, my friend, the Connecticut hardcore legend, Colonial Chris.
Just be real about it. Don't walk in eggshells around me. I'm the same guy, just different soul, I just want to be normal again, but I never will be.
Everybody has a breaking point, but it's not about the actual point. It's about what you do when you get to that point. And I think I'm gonna get to that point by the end of the song. Spit it out, and I'll throw it back at you. Regurgitating rappers and actors repping the whack crew. Grim fucking rapper BG bringing that bad news. My interests include getting money, fucking, and tattoos. That's just an intro, this song's about crazy. Paranoia gripping my mind and where it takes me. All them thoughts in my head and how it makes me feel about a motherfucker when he acting flaky. Ex-friends could roll in the grave like the bottom of a blender. I'm a sharp spinning blade. Stick your hand in, get the slicing every way. Hate being around rappers, so I'm writing every day. Where's Metal? He passed me the beat. I keep that motherfucker close because he crazy as me. Yeah, we came up with some goons and we was rapping for free. But I rose above the rest, I guess it's easy to see. I don't fit circle to a square, breaking out of the mold. You all stuck, but you just don't care. When I walk by, please don't stare. BG slap a rapper out of the box, man, it just ain't fair. Me, I'm still not here. Catch me talking to myself like I got 4 ears. You could listen to the rhyme, cause it's coming in pairs. Hey, I got something for you. He's standing right behind you and his name's Paranoia. You and me, that's not a fair matchup. Rappers drinking retard juice down to the last cup. They all broke, screaming how they got their swag up. But I heard you live with your mom, now homie, that sucks. You think you crazy? Boy, that's just a figment. Looking like a mannequin sprayed with bitch pigment. Truth about you is the lie that you living in. There's no reality when your shit is all scripted. Been wicked, sickle still swing. Bring motherfuckers to the grave, early no dream. Please don't get it twist like a shirt with no sleeves. I'll break a rapper down like words and what they mean. Still ill, brain still thinking. Cats making trash, so the circle still shrinking. Game so lame, shit crew sucks thinking. But band always kept it a buck like 20 Lincolns. I don't fit circle to a square, breaking out of the mold. You all stuck, but you just don't care. When I walk by, please don't stare. BG slap a rapper out of the box, man, it just ain't fair. Me, I'm still not here. Catch me talking to myself like I got 4 ears. You could listen to the rhyme, cause it's coming in pairs. Hey, I got something for you. He's standing right behind you and his name's Paranoia. Stop. Now take a look around you. Back in a hole in the wall where I found you. Standing in the way when I'm spitting, probably drown you. I clown you. Leeches are speechless, I astound you. Words being mashed together, pull the lever. Never will they see you again. I'm forever, whether booth or the streets, it's heat. Mind the weather, but these cats all trashing the beat. I'm the treasure. Live lost, stand in the shelter. Brain in the greenhouse, speech make a swelter. Hands on the big wheel, waiting for the next turn. Foot breaking up in your ass, call me that left. No pills, deal with the psych. You a real MC, keep it real with your life. I ain't met a rapper yet that admit to his plight. If you wanna taste death, here I am, take a bite. I don't fit circle to a square, breaking out of the mold. You all stuck, but you just don't care. When I walk by, please don't stare. Be BG, slap a rapper out the box, man, it just ain't fair. Me, I'm still not here. Catch me talking to myself like I got 4 ears. You could listen to the rhyme, cause it's coming in pairs. Hey, I got something for you. He's standing right behind you, and his name's Paranoia. Paranoia.
This is called death.